Ahoy! I'm Sabiha, a BCBA for Success on the Spectrum franchising and a mom of two wonderful daughters. Thank you for joining me today as I answer the question that parents often ask, and that is, why is my child engaging in this behavior and what can I do to help support them? But before we can begin to dig into the why, we have to understand the what, and that is, we have to know what the four functions of behavior are. Once you know those, you can begin to answer the why yourself. Let's first start talking about what the four functions of behavior are, and then we'll talk about how to identify them. The first function that we have is self-stimulatory or sensory. The next one that we have is escape. Finally, we have attention and then tangible. If you need an easy way to remember it, think about the acronym SEAT. S for self-stimulatory, E for escape, A for attention, and T for tangible. The first function of behavior that we'll talk about is the self-stimulatory and sensory behavior. I call this the feel-good behavior. Have you ever noticed your child twirling around or flapping their hands in front of their face? This is because they are doing something that feels good to them. It may be hard to understand why, but just keep in mind that we probably all display some sort of self-stimulatory behaviors. Have you ever rubbed your face or your beard? What about twirling your hair at the end of your finger or tapping the end of your pencil on your desk? Those are self-stimulatory behaviors. It's hard to understand why it feels good, but for some reason it does, and that's why we do them. Your child engages in self-stimulatory behaviors because of the same reason. The next function of behavior we'll talk about is escape. I call this the I don't want it that way. Your child will simply engage in a behavior because they don't want to do something that's been asked of them. Have you ever asked them to clean their room and they argue with you? That is an escape-maintained behavior. What about them crying whenever you tell them to go to the doctor's office or brush their teeth? What about when they stomp their feet because they don't want to eat their dinner? All of those behaviors are because they're trying to communicate that they don't want to do what is being asked of them. And then we have the attention-seeking behaviors. I call this the look at me now behavior. Your child will engage in a behavior simply because attention is not on them or they want attention for themselves. Have you ever noticed that they start to laugh and scream whenever you're on their phone or start saying, "Mama, mama, mama, look at me, look at me"? That means they're trying to seek your attention because it's not solely on them. And then finally, we have the function of tangible. This is what I call the I want it now behavior. Your child will engage in a behavior simply because they want something from you that they can't have or because you told them they can't have it right now. They could also engage in behavior because they're doing something that they enjoy, but now they have to give it up. Have you ever noticed them cry whenever you tell them to turn off the TV or whenever they have to share the iPad with their brother or sister? These behaviors that they engage in are simply because of the function tangible. They don't want to share what they have or they don't want to give up what they enjoy. Now that you understand what the four functions of behavior are, you can begin to understand the why. But keep one thing in mind, all behaviors serve the same purpose, and that is all behaviors are a form of communication. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're able to learn something from this video.